No doubt. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Six, 7, 8. Up to 11.
The ninth question.
The hyperbola has one focus and corresponding directrix. The eccentric root then the center of the hyperbola. Okay. X plus y plus 1 is 0 is like this, and the origin is the focus. Okay, it is like this now. They wanted the center on that. Okay, this is x plus y plus 1 equal to 0. This is the origin. This is the focus and the corresponding directrix. Distance between these two will be AE minus A by E. Whereas from here to here distance will be A by E. But I think both will be equal. Why? If I take this is A by E. This one is AE minus A by E. But if I take eccentricity root 2, this will be A by root 2 and this is also A by root 2. Both are equal, right? Yes or no? Substitute root 2 here, simplify, you get A by root 2 and A by E is A by root 2. So if these two are equal, image of origin with respect to this will directly give you the center. If these two are not equal, then we'll find this point put. That's that this is 3 times this. This is 3 times and this is 2 times. Then we use section formula proper. Okay. But right now they are equal, so it is very easy. In fact, this point is what 0 comma minus 1. This point is minus 1 comma 0. This point is minus of comma minus of. This point is exactly that minus 1 comma minus 1. Image 1 if I. So answer is minus 1 comma minus 1. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you want, I can draw more clearly. Somebody want?
Clear, sir.
Okay. All. Okay, 10 or 11, anybody need doubt? Twelve, 13, 14. Okay, sure, you tried this question?
No, sir.
How many questions you tried? 1, 5,
0,
10,
sir.
0. Come on, what are you doing?
Sir, yesterday whole day I have done physics.
That's not right.
Suddenly, sir called and gave up to 200 questions.
You tell us a lot of math work is also there, na? Okay, it's up to you if you want to do it.
Today I will complete.
Hemant Karthikeya, up to which question you tried?
Sir, I did up to 40, sir.
Very good. Ravi, Praneeth, tell which question you tried?
Sir, I have not started, sir.
Why? What happened to you? Are you also 200 questions are given?
Sir, Narsar gave 3 assignments, sir. Hold I done there.
Hey, see, anytime if you get too much work, you can just inform the teacher. Not a problem at all. You tell math work is there. I already said we are, quite tight in the track sheet. This week we want to complete hyperbola.
Complete today, sir.
After getting 1 way holiday, also if you don't do, okay, you should inform the teacher. Not that just because. Okay. Sriharsha, up to which question you tried?
Sir, I tried till 20, sir.
Okay. I think some of you, Lokesh or Pranit, I don't know, others maybe. Maybe normally you are not submitting homework so much. I think that's why sir asked you. I don't know.
So no, sir. Normally, like yesterday, sir kept a class, sir, and sir told that either sir will keep another class or we should submit the assignments to sir. So sir gave 3 assignments.
All right, it's okay. All of you go to IIT with good physics score also, I don't mind. Okay, I'll clarify doubts tomorrow. At least try up to 50 by tomorrow. Is it okay, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whatever you do, this till this Saturday only. Monday I'm going to start binomial theorem. So ellipse advanced material you have to do. Hyperbola means first you have to do hyperbola means material. Next both ellipse and hyperbola advanced material. Okay. When you will do it, you plan yourself. Just the other day only, day for yesterday only, I told Anna, sir, if I have to run after the students and then only they will submit homework and all, I said I will not, I don't want to work here, or I don't want that kind of student. If you want to get IIT rank, students should be studious by themselves, not that we have to call them, run after them, okay, ask them to submit homework, okay. I don't think in many places they even check the homework. I come across some students from different colleges. They're very, very sincere. Okay. But somehow they don't have proper systematic material or proper teaching and all that. Okay. There's no facility to ask doubts and all. And nobody checks their homework at all. In spite of that, they are very sincere. They try on their own. Okay. What is the last point we discussed in the class? I think normal condition, right?
Rectangular hyperbola.
I was discussing about rectangular hyperbola. Yeah, correct. A and all that. Okay, fine. Now, I also discussed about what is the general tangent, general normal, condition for a line to be normal, and all that. Okay. So, we are left with special properties. Okay, let us see one more thing here. Okay, if you take a hyperbola, hyperbola has a lot of properties like this. You take any tangent. This will have some area with the two asymptotes, right? The two asymptotes and tangent. That area is always constant. Let us see why. So, you can put a heading properties of hyperbola. Okay, let's say this point is P, this point is Q, this point is R. Let us really try to find Q and R. This is O. Let P is equal to A secant theta, comma B tan theta. Then equation of tangent. First property. What is the property? Else better I'll write it down. Area of triangle OQR is constant. That is the first point. Almost same. OQ into OR is constant. And third one, P is midpoint of QR. P is midpoint of Q and R every time. Okay, let us see how to prove this. Equation of tangent is x secant theta by A minus y tan theta by B is equal to 1. What are the two asymptotes? X by A minus y by B equal to 0. This is x by A plus y by B equal to 0. Okay, so let us solve these two. In fact, I can take x is equal to 80 and y equal to bt and substitute it here. I'll get 1 by secant theta minus secant theta plus tan theta. So point Q is coming A into secant theta plus tan theta, B into secant theta minus tan theta, secant theta plus tan theta. And R will come A into secant theta minus tan theta minus B into secant theta minus tan theta. If you really solve this and this asymptote, you'll get this point. This tangent and this asymptote, you'll get this point. So now if you take area of triangle OQR, whenever one vertex is origin, this x1 by 1, this x2 by 2, of mod x1 by 2 minus x2 by 1 is the area. If I use that, this product is minus AB, this product is less AB because secant square minus tan square is 1. We'll get minus AB, which is AB. And even if I take OQ into OR, OQ distance root over this square plus this square, secant will common, it will come root A square plus B square into secant theta plus tan theta. OR is also root A square plus B square secant theta minus tan theta. And secant plus tan into secant minus tan is secant square minus tan square. So we'll get again A square plus B square. In fact, area of a triangle is half AB sin C because this angle is constant. If this product is constant, area is constant, or if area is constant, product is constant. Both are same because OQ into OR and area almost same except for the sin theta extra. And that sin theta is fixed. And Q and R are known. If you find midpoint of Q and R, you will automatically get P. So third point is already satisfied. If you add Q and R, divide with Q, you will get P. Okay, everybody completed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I erase this whole thing? Okay, I'll tell you something interesting, but you can prove each one separately. But because of the language of the math that we are using in coordinate geometry, it is very easy to prove. Like just now I told you that if you take a hyperbola, at any point you draw tangent, it will intersect asymptotes at 2 points. The midpoint of these two is this point only, right? Not just that, there will be conjugate hyperbola. There will be lot of hyperbolas with the same lines as asymptotes, right? Okay. It will intersect those two at 2 points, let's say this tangent. Midpoint of those two also this point of contact. Not just that, draw some other line like this. Okay. Midpoint of these two and midpoint of these two will be same. If this is AB, this is CD, midpoint of AB and midpoint of CD is same. In fact, if it intersects asymptotes at L and M, midpoint of LM also same. Anybody want to explain why it's coming like that? Having these two lines as asymptotes, anybody want to tell how many hyperbolas are there? I'll give you two lines. Having those two lines as asymptotes, how many hyperbolas will be there? Infinite. You take x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to, you take 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or -1, -2. For all of them, asymptotes are same. Instead of bringing 2 here, you can write 2 here, and write 1 here. You can write 3 here, 1 here. So x square by ka square minus y square by kb square equal to 1. Whatever k you take other than 0, always asymptotes are the same line. Am I correct?
Yeah.
You can put 0 and send k, that's it. Okay, so one such hyperbola is, let us say, like this. Another such hyperbola is, let us say, like this. And let us say another hyperbola is like this. If I draw a line, let us say these 4 points are A1, A2, A3, A4. These 4 points are B1, B2, B3, B4. Midpoint of A1, B1, A2, B2, A3, B3, A4, B4. All are same. Anybody want to comment why? Okay, I'll take midpoint of the card as x1, y1. If I know midpoint, what is the formula for equation of the card?
S1 equals S11.
Yes. Let us say you take one hyperbola x square plus y square by b square equal to 2. Xx1 by a square plus yy1 by b square minus 2 equal to x1 square by a square plus y1 square by b square minus 2. This is S1 equal to S11, right? If I take equal to 3, 3 will come here, 3 will come here. If I take equal to 4, 4 will come here. Anyway, they'll cancel. Same, na? That's all proved. 4. And first year, you studied pair of straight lines. If passing through origin or not, doesn't matter. If there is a pair of lines, if there is a card, you know the midpoint. That means there is a line intersecting at the midpoint. If you want to know this line, you can use S1 equal to S1. Because we are using for conic section, na? Why not for pair of straight lines? It's also like a conic section. Okay, you can use that. Of course, first year I did not teach 1B, but I would have not told this formula because you don't know what is S1 and what is S11 at that time. Right? And neither the proof. Okay. So now it can be used. All right. So you take any one of these curves including the asymptotes, they are all in the form of x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to some k. The k is anyway getting cancelled. That is the reason where this is the midpoint of this. Okay. You can see which is otherwise very difficult. We could do just like that, right?
Yes, sir.
And it is not only true for hyperbola. It is true for circle. If two circles have a difference in constant, what will happen to those circles? What kind of circles are they?
Concentric circle.
Yeah. You can see that if you take concentric circles, if you draw a chord, this is midpoint of not only these two, the midpoint of these two, midpoint of these two, midpoint of these two. Isn't it right?
Yes, sir.
And if you draw a tangent somewhere, it is intersecting another concentric 2 point. Midpoint of these two is this or not? Yeah. So it is true for circle, it is true for ellipse, it is true for hyperbola, just because of that formula. Okay. What is this? If you take ellipse, to change the constant, you will get different ellipses like this. Okay. But all of them should be in the form of x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to some k. Then you take any tangent to one of the ellipse, if it is intersecting other ellipse at 2 points, midpoint of these two is this, midpoint of these two is this. And if you draw some other chord like this, midpoint of these two, midpoint of these two, midpoint of these two, midpoint of these two, all are same. Is it all right, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing even in parabola. If we take y square equal to 4ax and y square equal to 4ax plus some k, the difference should be only a constant. As you change k, you may get a different parabolas like this of same size. There also you draw tangent to one parabola, wherever it intersects the other two, the midpoint of these two is this. And if something is like this, midpoint of these two, midpoint of these two, midpoint of these two is always same. Simply because S1 equal to S11 formula. Okay. Actually, in hyperbola only we discuss. You take any standard textbook for IIT-JEE, you will only find this question in hyperbola chapter. You don't find in other chapters. Okay. And the proof is usually just now what I've done. They really find this point, midpoint of these two is this. Okay. But that way it is very lengthy. If you do S1 equal to S1, it is very easy. In fact, suddenly one day I was teaching, I discovered this and even generalized to circle, parabola, ellipse and all. Okay. I explained to some people, they liked it very much because some of them are teaching for years, but in this way they did not think about it. Okay, so second point, instead of describing it, I'll just tell in the figure whatever I explained just now. First, let us draw asymptotes. And 2, 3 hyperbolas, 2 here and 1 here. Okay. And let us draw one thing and say these 4 points are A1, A2, A3 and A4. These are B1, B2, B3 and B. And let me draw tangent to one of them. This is B, this is A1, this is B1. No, let us take some L1 and M1, L2 and M2. I will draw here, it's okay. You draw tangent to this hyperbola. Let us call this as P. These are L1, L2, L3. These are M1, M2, M3. You can write all these are in the form of x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to k. And S1 equal to S11 is independent of k. You can even write that xx1 by a square minus yy1 by b square minus k equal to x1 square by a square minus y1 square by b square minus. Okay, and just to explain what is this point, let me give some point here as m. M is equal to midpoint of a1 b1, say midpoint of a2 b2, midpoint of a3 b3, and midpoint of a4 b4. Similarly, P is midpoint of L1 M1 and also L2 M2 and also L3 M3. Okay, please copy this. I hope everybody clear about this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Those interested, right here only. You can write on your own similar thing for circle, parabola, and ellipse. Like a generalization for all conic sections. Okay. Anybody needs more time to copy?
1 minute.
Okay. All right. Okay, third point, if you take a hyperbola and its asymptotes, you take any point on the hyperbola, find perpendicular distance to this asymptote and perpendicular to this asymptote. The product is always constant. So this is P, this is L, this is N. Does anybody remember in first year pair of straight lines? If there are two lines, ax square plus 2hxy plus dy square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. if there is a point x1, y1, this perpendicular distance, this perpendicular distance, the product, is there any formula? Anybody remembers? The formula is mod s11 by root over a minus b whole square plus 4h square. Substitute the point in this by root over a minus b whole square plus 4h. Anybody remember something like this? Okay. If you actually remember that, it is very easy, because if you take a point on hyperbola and substitute in asymptote equation, what will happen? You will get equal to 1, right?
Yeah, sir.
Because asymptote equation is x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to 0. When you substitute x1, y1 in that, you will get x1 square by a square minus y1 square by b equal to 1. Okay, so it's actually very easy. From that, even for, you can see, understand for rotated version also y is constant. This also we are able to understand from the language very easily, that because the difference is only a constant. Okay, that's why it is happening like that. But if somebody wants to do separately, take this as x by a minus y by b equal to 0. This is x by a plus y by b equal to 0. This point you can take x1, y1. You can take a secant theta, beta, anything is okay. Okay. Anyway, the point is the product of perpendicular distances from any point on hyperbola to its asymptotes is constant. Okay, if you want the proof, PL into PM. From x1, y1 distance to this is x1 by a minus y1 by b by root over 1 by a square plus 1 by b square. This is x1 by a plus y1 by b by root over 1 by a square plus 1 by b square. A minus b into a plus b. So x1 square by a square minus y1 square by b square by 1 by a square plus 1 by b. So this is 1. So we'll get 1 by a square plus 1 by b square. It is a constant. You can see it is independent of x1, y1 because this value is 1. If you want to write it, it is a square b square by a square plus b square. Okay, so these are some new properties of hyperbola which not there in other conic sections because there are no asymptotes. So the last 3 points that I discussed in one sense are at least 2 points. And what are properties we discussed about ellipse also must be true here. Like we'll discuss the reflection property and all that. Lot of people videos are off. Please turn on your videos. Okay, everybody completed this?
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, what will be the locus of those midpoints, sir?
Which midpoints?
In the first one, we find that so the midpoints are every point of intersection, the midpoint is same, no, sir.
Ah, okay, correct. Hmm.
Sir, if we change that values of k and change that line, sir, then what will be the locus, sir?
Oh, that will be some other line. I think basically you're asking about if we take one fixed hyperbola, draw a lot of parallel lines, what are the locus of their midpoints, right?
Yes, sir.
That will come a line. How to prove it? To take that point as x1, y1, find equation of that line, equate it to the given, because they have so and so slope, equate it, you will get the locus.
It will be a straight line, sir.
Yeah, it will be a straight line. In fact, it is called diameter also. There is a circle, we know what is diameter. Ellipse and hyperbola also have some diameter. I'll discuss. For any line passing through the center is a diameter, but the definition is something else. Okay, can I erase this? Anyway, some people are saying physics homework. I did not give any homework for yesterday. I gave this homework on day for yesterday. So Monday evening only should have completed it. What if yesterday was working day? Then yesterday morning only I would have expected, right? Am I correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So then what is the answer these people have? Because when I announced homework, I don't even know it is a holiday or not. I said I don't know. So I was expecting by yesterday morning itself. Yes, Lokeshwara, what is your answer?
Sir, I thought yesterday I can do all the homeworks.
Mm-hmm. All right, code property. Let us try to prove that standard reflection property once again for hyperbola. You take any point and draw normal there and draw tangent and find those lengths also. Okay, I'll call this as P, this as P, this as N. Focus is somewhere here, S. Let us try to find T, N, ST distance, SN distance, SP, all those things. Okay. If I take this as A secant theta, comma, B tan theta. Okay, I want to write some lines before this, but let us try to prove and then come back to that. Or we can just write everything. Okay. What is equation of tangent x secant theta by A minus pi tan theta by B equal to 1? Based on that, T will come A by secant theta comma 0. Equation of normal is ax by secant theta minus, plus dy by tan theta equal to a square plus b square, which is a square e square. Now when I put y equal to 0, point n will come a e square secant theta comma 0. Okay, from here what is st distance? AE minus A by secant theta. If I take A by secant theta common, it is E secant theta minus 1 or AE secant theta minus A. But what is the PM distance for this? E into A secant theta minus A by E. Yeah. So I should have taken here E by secant theta common. I would have got a secant theta minus a by e. I hope I'm right. At y equal to 0, so it came down this secant theta. And eccentricity into it, this is actually HP. Okay, this is actually coming SP by secant theta. Okay, this is fine. And Sn is a e square secant theta minus a. This x coordinate minus this x coordinate. Again, I want a secant theta minus a by e. So I can take e square common. I got a secant theta minus a by e. This is coming e square times oh, I have to use other focus also. Sorry. S dash. It's okay. I'll write this. This is e square times HP. But what I want to prove is, sorry, tangent bisects this angle. I want to prove that. I want to prove these angles are equal. So I want to prove this is to this is equal to this is to this. So I found ST here and this. Let me find S dash T. That is A by secant theta plus A. Again, here if I take secant theta common, E by secant theta common, it is A by E plus A secant theta. That is S dash P by secant theta. Okay. So this Sn is I don't need right now. I can see similarly and leave it. So let me avoid this. S dash T is A by secant theta plus A, E by secant theta common, A by E plus A secant theta. This whole thing is S dash P. Okay, so now ST is to S dash T is same as SP is to S dash P because only bisecant it is different. So PT is the bisector of angle S dash P S. It is the bisector of angle S dash PS. Okay, so like I said, if you take an ellipse, you send one light ray like this, after reflection will pass to other focus. Similarly, if you take a hyperbola, of course I prove tangent is bisecting. Similarly, I can prove normal is bisecting because if one bisector is tangent, the other bisector is also. So Tn is the external bisector of angle S dash PS, you can write that. And this is internal bisector actually. Then just this, okay. Okay, so if you try to send a light ray which is trying to meet one focus, but this is silvered inside. After reflection, it will try to go to other focus. Okay, so that is the reflection property of the hyperbola. So you can put even just heading the reflection property of hyperbola. And just write this much. What we wanted to prove is the tangent bisects angle between the two focal rays through a point. Similarly, the normal also bisects angle between the two focal rays. Is it okay, everybody? Okay. Okay, everybody completed? Why nobody is responding? Okay. If a hyperbola and ellipse are confocal, then they intersect each other orthogonally. Let's say I have an ellipse and I have a hyperbola. They have same focus. You know, for hyperbola, focus will be here and here, and for ellipse this. Okay, if they have same focus, then they will intersect each other orthogonally. That means at the point of intersection, the tangent to this and the tangent to this, okay, they are perpendicular. Anyone want to explain the proof of this? Why, if they are confocal, they will intersect each other orthogonally? Yes, please.
Sir, if we draw a tangent at that point and normal, we will get an angle. It will angular bisector of the normal of ellipse will be angular bisector of the line. So angle between focus and that point. Sir.
Yes, correct.
Means it is angular bisector means it should be tangent to the hyperbola.
Yes, correct. Let us join one of these points to the two foci, and there will be two bisectors. I'll call this as P, this as dash. Let's say this line I'll call L, and this line if I call M. Okay. For ellipse, what is M? Tangent. And what is L? Normal, right? And for hyperbola, M is the normal and L is the tangent. And because these two lines are tangents and normals, they are perpendicular. But one is tangent to first curve, another one is tangent to second curve, so they are perpendicular. Proved, that's all. Okay. So proof. Let L comma M, or let lines L comma M or angular bisectors of angle SP S dash. One is internal, one external. Okay. Line M, of course, L and M are perpendicular. L is perpendicular to M. Because whenever you take two lines, the two bisectors are always perpendicular. Line M is tangent to ellipse at P, comma, normal to hyperbola at P. And line L is normal to ellipse at P, and tangent to hyperbola at P. So the tangent to ellipse and the tangent to hyperbola are perpendicular, so they intersect each other orthogonally. That's all. That is the proof. Okay, everybody completed and clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just about this only, I just want to write same thing but in a different way. One or two small note I can say corollary or something. X square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1, x square by c square minus y square by d square equal to 1. Intersect orthogonally implies a square minus b square is equal to c square plus d square. Because what is AE value for the ellipse? Root over a square minus b square, right? And AE value for hyperbola is root over c square plus d square. Okay. Next, second point, x square by a square plus lambda plus y square by b square plus lambda equal to 1, and lambda is a variable. Represents a family of ellipses, a family of confocal ellipses comma a family of confocal hyperbolas. which intersect each other orthogonally. Which intersect each other orthogonally. Okay, let us take one equation. X square by 20 plus lambda, y square by some 9 plus lambda equal to 1. If I take lambda equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on, you'll get different ellipses, but for all of them, foci are same. Am I correct or wrong?
Yes,
What is
sir.
it? What is that foci coordinates? What are the foci of this?
Sir, root over 11.
Yeah, AE is root a square minus b square, root 11 comma 0 minus root 11 comma 0. But don't think it's only ellipses. You take lambda minus 10, minus 11, minus 12, minus 13, any one of them. This is a positive number, this is a negative number, right? Okay, now it is a hyperbola, no? Okay, what is the foci of that hyperbola? Is it coming variable or constant?
Constant, sir.
Constant only. Why? When this is negative, you have to put a minus, take minus common. You have to take a minus common and write here minus 9 minus lambda. And this is a positive number now. And AE is root a square plus b square. When you add these two, what will come? Root 11 only, right?
Root 11. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So x square by a square plus lambda, y square by b square plus lambda. For some lambdas, it represents ellipse. For some lambdas, it represents hyperbola. But all of them have same foci. Okay. And if they have same foci, we already know that they will intersect each other orthogonally. Okay. Third point. Ax square plus by square equal to 1 and cx square plus dy square equal to 1. Okay, let us say this ellipse. First one is ellipse, second one is hyperbola. Okay, intersect each other orthogonally. Intersect each other orthogonally. Implies. Anybody want to tell when this ellipse and this hyperbola intersect each other orthogonally? Based on the first point at least. This is ellipse and this is hyperbola.
1 by a square minus 1 by b square equals 1 by c square plus 1 by d square.
1 by a minus 1 by b, 1 equal to 1 by c minus 1 by d. Because 1 by a itself is a square.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here also why I wrote minus is maybe d is negative. Okay. So here already minus is given, but here the minus is not given. You take minus common and that's it. Everybody clear third one? This is AE value for the ellipse. This is AE value for this hyperbola. Anybody has seen this third point anytime before? In first year, there is a chapter called Tangents and Normals in calculus. Okay. In that, the third exercise is about angle between the two curves. Right?
Yes, sir.
In that, look at the last solved example before the exercise. This is the question. I'm sure now some of you may remember slightly. They will give you that 1 by a minus 1 by b equal to 1 by c minus 1 by d and show that these two curves will intersect each other orthogonally. Here we cannot find point of intersection. We'll assume x1, y1. solve them, find a relation between x1, y1, and then find the slope of the tangent here, slope of the tangent here, product of the slopes is -1, we will prove by using this. Anybody getting some resemblances or some remembrance of that? No. Okay. Go back and see if you have textbook first year tangents and normals, third exercise, before that last example. Is it all right? Okay, you'll come across the same thing once again in differential equations. Okay, when you learn differential equation at that time, I'll tell you when it will come. All right, we'll stop here. Thank you. So by tomorrow, we are going to complete 50. Okay.